Hey, what is happening, guys? Welcome back. This is going to be another podcast segment on current MMA news. Got a few topics that are trending I would like to talk about. We got Usman touching on the Diaz versus Chimaev fight. We got Conor McGregor making his film debut in the Roadhouse remake. It's a leading role, by the way. And looks like Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler are going to clash at UFC 281. It is becoming official. I did a breakdown for that fight. You can find it on the channel, but I'll still touch on how great of a matchup that is. All right, let's start with Usman's thoughts on Diaz versus Chimaev. All right, to cut to the chase, basically Kamaru Usman does not think that Diaz has zero chance of winning that fight. He touched on it being a 5-rounder, which of course is beneficial to Nate Diaz. Chimaev, I do not believe, has fought the full 5 rounds in a professional mixed martial arts fight. That's a factor. That's a big question mark, and it's a factor. Usman thinks that if Nate can survive until the later rounds, the 5th round, that maybe he can make something happen. We saw him do that just thing in the Leon Edwards fight. But here's the thing with that. Khamzat Chimaev stylistically is just a terrible fight for Nate. So if Nate actually makes it to the 5th round and he's not so beat up that he can actually make something happen and hurt Chimaev, the guy is truly a legend. Because I think that fight is going to go terrible for Nate, and I love Nate Diaz. But honestly speaking, Usman does have a point. The Diaz brothers are known to be notoriously durable. Those guys are true fighters. Scrappy isn't even the word. If anybody could survive an onslaught, rally back in the later rounds, it's the Diaz brothers. And in this case, Nate. So who knows? A fight's a fight. We saw Khamzat Chimaev slow down in the Burns fight, but I think that was due to the pace. Khamzat really wasn't fighting smart. He was getting hit with shots, which definitely weakens you, diminishes you, even if you have great cardio. So expending unnecessary energy, fighting reckless and crazy, brawling, and getting cracked, saps your cardio. I don't think he's in a fight like that against Nate Diaz. What I actually think is going to happen, as crazy as it may sound to some, I don't think Khamzat is afraid to take Nate down. I think he's so confident in his wrestling and the size and strength difference. I believe that he thinks he can neutralize Nate on the ground and just batter him. That might be the case, but as the fight goes on, and if he can't finish Nate, and it does reach the later rounds, like let's say the last round, and you get sloppy, you get tired, you get complacent, that's when Nate Diaz will catch you. But we'll see what happens. I know I'm heavily favoring Khamzat Chimaev, but once again, if the sport has taught us one thing, it's that anything can happen and a fight's a fight. All right, moving on. Next topic. Conor McGregor starring in basically his first role besides Burger King commercials. He's going to star in the Roadhouse remake with Jake Gyllenhaal, and apparently McGregor has a leading role in the film. It's supposed to be an Amazon Video Prime movie. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not like a big budget in the theaters film, but that's okay. Amazon has money. I'm sure it's going to be shot well. I'm sure it's not going to be cheap. They put out quality content when they want to. And for Conor McGregor to dip his toes in the water of acting, he must have viewed it as a solid opportunity, and he probably got paid well. Leading role is interesting. How accurate that is, have no idea. But I think Conor McGregor would fit well in a Roadhouse film. I remember the old school movie. It's a 80s classic with Patrick Swayze. He was basically a sophisticated bouncer. Sophisticated, but he was a savage. I'm guessing Jake Gyllenhaal is the Patrick Swayze character and not Conor McGregor. Conor's probably going to be either a nemesis to Jake Gyllenhaal or his buddy. He's got that gruff look. He's a real tough guy. So I think he's going to fit well in his role. This is good for Conor, but might not be good for his MMA career. I feel like with Conor, like he's lost focus. He's doing great business, but he's all over the place. And now he's involved with film. I know he wants to become mixed martial arts champion again in the UFC. And who am I to say, he's been multiple time champ, but I think you have to be fully invested to make it to the pinnacle of the sport, especially with the killers of today right now. He's also coming back from a horrific leg injury, ring rust, cage rust. Yeah, he's definitely got to focus, but happy for him with his new venture into film. And the last topic of discussion is Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier. That is a banger of a fight. These guys have been drawn back and forth. They had that little incident in the crowd at one of the UFC events. They don't like each other. I think the beef is real. I don't think it's staged. Both of these guys are basically in their prime, or close to. Both have knockout power. Both have formidable ground games, although different ground games. Poirier is more of a BJJ specialist. He has some wrestling, and Chandler's the opposite of that. He's more of a wrestler with BJJ submission skills. They both can stop each other. They can finish each other. In the stand-up, I'm going to give the edge to Dustin Poirier. Once again, I did a breakdown for this, a little bit more detailed. But I just think Poirier is more technical. He's more composed on the feet. And he has more tool standing. Chandler's going to have more power. Grappling, I think Chandler would control Dustin Poirier on the mat. But I don't think it'll be easy to get Poirier down. So that's going to be problematic for Chandler. Possibly. Potentially. But if Chandler gets Poirier down, I see him maintaining top position, scoring, landing ground and pound. I don't really see him tapping out Dustin, but you never know. And if he did, it would be like a rear naked choke from Dustin giving up his back after getting pounded on. I made a pick for the fight. If you want to hear my pick in a more detailed breakdown, go check it out. Poirier versus Chandler, MMA Slam, should pop right up. That's all I got, guys. That's all I got for this podcast segment. I like mixing it up, doing breakdowns, interviews, straight podcast segments, lives. Hope you guys enjoy the varied content. All right, guys, signing off. Thanks for watching the segment. If this is your first time at the channel, and of course, only if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. If you want to show support, like and share. That helps the channel get exposure and grow. Appreciate that. And I will catch you all on the next segment. Until then, everybody, take care.